God brought the children of Israel out of slavery. Moses went to Pharaoh numerous times saying, "Let my people go, that we may serve the Lord." 3-day journey in the wilderness. Pharaoh did not know the Lord. So Moses used what was in his hands and turned the river into blood. And the magicians came and did things like manner. Several things the Egyptians were able to duplicate. But when it got to, I think it was the GATS, the GNAT, however you pronounce that, they were not able to duplicate that. And they said, truly, this is the finger of God. And even when recognizing the finger of God and know that this is truly God, God hardened Pharaoh's heart on that sixth plague. Because Pharaoh was playing games, and God wanted him to know that there is no other God but one. And numerous times Pharaoh said that, okay, if you, it's like, you give me some relief, pray to God and get these flies out of here, get these locusts out of here, and I'll let y'all go. But he was being deceitful. But when it really touches your heart, when God strikes down the firstborn, he told them to put the blood over the doorpost, this way and going down that way. And when the death angel see the blood, he was going to pass by. And God made a difference between Israel and the Egyptians. None of the Israelites' babies died. None of the animals died because the blood was on the post as the Lord commanded. But Pharaoh did not believe in God. So he didn't do it. But after they discover all their firstborns were dead, they go over and check out them in Goshen. Nothing was touched on their side. And God made a distinction between them. Let my people go. They were ready to get them out of there then. It was like, get out of here. They were ready for them to go. But God didn't let them leave empty-handed. He told them to ask the Egyptians for things, for items, for possession. They gave them a lot of possession. And they went out, about 3,000 men and women. But before that, they were like only 70 when they went down to Egypt. Y'all know the story when Joseph's brothers sold him to the Egyptians. And by the time there was a famine, they had to come down. And then Joseph, paraphrasing and I'm speeding it up, revealed himself to his brothers, asked him, was his father still alive? He said, yeah. He said, bring him on down. And he had them dwell in the land of Goshen, 70 strong. Then the Egyptians saw how they were growing, and they were scared. They was like, what if they join up with our enemies and come and put us out of our own land? So they put those taskmasters on them and put them into slavery. But God never forgot about his chosen people. He heard their cry. And God hears your cry. Your cry is different than any other cry from any other his children. And he will meet your needs as he met the children of Israel needs in the wilderness. But will you turn God away when he provide what you need? Might not be what you want, but it's what you need. He provided the children of Israel what they need was food. He provided them manna from heaven. It says God rained down the corn from heaven. Man did eat angels' food, but they provoked it, the Most High God, asking him, can he provide a table in the wilderness? He's been providing for you all this long time, but you're thinking about Egypt, going back into slavery. You're thinking about food that you got in slavery when the Lord himself delivered you out of slavery. He divided the Red Seas. He made the water stand up like a wall, and y'all were able to pass through it. Then the Egyptians come, and he let that water fall down on them. And you forgot about that? He struck a rock, and not just drips of water, gushes of water like a river came flowing out to provide for you. But yet you still provoke the mighty God, because it's not what you wanted, but it was what you need. You need food and water to sustain you. So God got angry with them because he heard them. He heard them talking about him. Can God prepare a table in the wilderness? Yeah, he hit the water. He provide water. But can he provide bread also? He is the bread of life coming down from heaven. The rock that you even sprout, that was Christ providing water for you to drink. But yet you harden your heart even more. You're just like your fathers, stiff-necked, hard-necked. You're not learning from the mistakes of your father. These things are written for an example, for us, not to make the same mistakes or go down the same path the ancestors went down. They did the same thing their fathers did, and they died in the wilderness. But there were two that believed God. They believed God. They trusted God at his word. They eventually made it into the promised land. But those ones that tested God, God gave them over to their own lusts, and he rained down quail. And they ate it to the full, where quail was coming out of their nostril. And they died. They tested the Holy One. But they sinned even the more against him. In verse 17 it says, by rebelling against the Most High in the wilderness. And they tested God in their hearts by asking him food for their fancy. Yes, they spoke against God. They said, can God prepare a table in the wilderness? Behold, he struck a rock so that the waters gush out and the streams overflow. Can he provide bread also? Can he provide meat for his people? Yes, God was furious when he heard these things because they did not believe in God and they did not trust in his salvation. Put your faith in God. If God spoke something, he will bring it to pass. God is not limited like we are limited. God knows the beginning from the end because God is outside of time. That's why he was able to tell Abram that your descendants, that I'm going to give you a son, Isaac. And that's going to be your seed. And God's going to keep his promise because he swore by his promise. And God will keep his promises to you. When you don't know where to turn, you turn to the rock of your salvation. And that rock is Christ. Look to the hills from where our strength comes from. Our strength cometh from the Lord. Behold the Lamb of God that takes away the sin of the world.